Polkadot is probably one of the most exciting cryptocurrency projects to launch ever. And actually 2024 is setting up to be a huge year for Polkadot and its entire ecosystem, with the ideals of Polkadot 2.0 starting to be implemented. In this video, I want to show you guys why it is I'm such a believer in Polkadot. And to do that, we're going to be looking at a number of reports. The first report that we're going to be looking at is from Electric Capital, which looks specifically at developers. Now, developers are really the heart and soul of a cryptocurrency. Without developers, nothing gets built, and thus no use cases get facilitated. So developers are exceptionally important. We will be covering that before we dive into the actual report and show you some very interesting things that show that Polkadot is really ahead of the pack. Then we're going to be going over to a publication from Parity Technologies that look at Polkadot and how it finished Q4 2023. All of these metrics that we are going to be showing you guys are very interesting, and Polkadot is only set to exponentially grow from where it currently is today. Like I say, with the rise and implementation of Polkadot 2.0, we've actually interviewed Bill Laboon on this subject matter. A lot is about to happen with Polkadot in 2024, and a huge spotlight is going to be shone upon it. And of course, we all know what's happening with OpenGov, which I think broadly has been a massive success. Yes, there has been some negative elements, but overall, if you look at the participation, not just from the voters, but the people putting forward proposals like ourselves and many of the other top content creators when it comes to crypto, it's been a massive, massive success. We see literally the biggest crypto influencers in the entire space using and utilizing Polkadot's OpenGov, and the community taking part in voting yay or nay for them. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this video, and let's start the video off with our first report that we want to look at, which of course is by Electric Capital. Now, Electric Capital are a venture capitalist firm. They are currently hiring, so I don't know if there's anybody out there that wants to get on board with that. But they published a report that was titled Developer Report from January to December 2023. So this report looks at the whole of last year and further back, and we saw an uptick in developers last year. We will be looking at newcomers and where they went in regards to what space they went into, what projects they went into. But let's start the video off with a little bit of an overview in regards to why their reasons, why they think measuring developers is important. So we fingerprinted 485 million code commits across 818,000 open source repositories to create this year's developer report. This was very comprehensive, very well done. And of course, I think Polkadot really shone through, and we're going to be showing you that. So why measure developers? Developers are a leading indicator of value creation. And without developers, ladies and gentlemen, you do not have the blockchain. You don't, these blockchains have been built by developers. The apps that are on top of them have been built by developers. And if you look at the internet, what really took the internet to new highs? It was essentially developers that were developing on the web 2 that facilitated those killer applications like Google, like Yahoo initially, YouTube, you name it, that brought the masses to the Web 2 space. Developers are as important to the Web 3 space for onboarding the next millions or billions of users. So they say developers build apps that deliver value to users. Killer apps attract customers. New customers bring more developers. Because crypto is significantly open source, we have an unprecedented ability to measure this developer value creation flywheel in an emerging industry. So developers are, I think, a very important metric to watch. And the first thing that I want to show you guys is how Polkadot's done in regards to monthly developers since launch. And this is ecosystems with the fastest initial growth than Ethereum. So as you can see here, you of course have Ethereum, which was the first smart contract blockchain to hit the space. And then you have Polkadot in a successful second. It's been around significantly less than Ethereum has, or it's been around for significantly less time than the likes of Ethereum has. And then you've got Solana, Near, Avalanche, Binance Chain, Terra, and then a list of others right down the pack. So Polkadot is doing very well as in regards to developers, and we know that developers create value. Let's take a look at their actual dashboard, and we're going to scroll all the way down to top ecosystem monthly active developers, and you can see you have Ethereum and then you have Polkadot. So Ethereum is head and shoulders above the rest at a whopping 2,392. Then we have Polkadot at 792, and then we have Polygon at 790, and then Cosmos, Arbitrum, BNB, Avalanche, and so on. You'll notice, certainly when we look at newcomers to the space, that there are a lot of Ethereum layer 2s that have a lot of developers. And the reasoning for this is because they share a similar development pool in regards to EVM with the likes of Ethereum. And what we're going to dive into now is going to display that Polkadot, despite not being an Ethereum layer 2 or kind of, I don't want to use the word leeching, but attaching itself to the Ethereum colossal ecosystem and project, has gained significant network in regards to people using it and coming on board and actually taking part in it. So this is very interesting data that kind of backs up our first point. Remember, developers are very important because they ultimately create value. Let's now go over and let's take a look. We're going to go about 26 pages in to the Polkadot report, and we're going to look at which ecosystems drew in newcomers in 2023. And you can see, of course, Ethereum staggeringly leading the pack, then Polygon, other, Solana, BNB, we've got the Cosmos network, we've got Arbitrum, and then we have Polkadot. Now, the interesting thing with this is Polygon and Arbitrum basically have the same developer pool as Ethereum. We're going to show you that now. You can see Polkadot in 2023 alone onboarded 2.8 thousand, so 2,815 developers alone in 2023. And if we break this down a little bit more, you can see that newcomers support multiple chains. Adding across ecosystem produces 100% plus of newcomers because devs support more than one chain. Now, this is often the case with the Ethereum layer 2s, but not perhaps with Polkadot. So many developers contributed in a deeper manner. Let's actually now take a closer look at 2023 and actually look at who shares developers. So if we bring this kind of graph up, it almost looks like a hash graph or something like that, you can see the kind of bigger ecosystems represented by the bigger bubbles. You can see you've got sort of many things like Cardano and Hedera and XRP on the kind of peripheries, as there's a level of, or there's not such a level of interconnectivity there. And then you can see you've got Ethereum is the big one. Then, of course, Polkadot, Cosmos, and Solana. And you can see the kind of links here. And if we continue, Ethereum shares 6+ developer networks with over 20 chains. So you can see there is a link to Polkadot, but more so to Polygon, ICP, Avalanche, Optimism, and Arbitrum, which is kind of showing us that the majority of newcomer developers in regards to the chains that are above Polkadot in regards to newcomers actually have got a lot of those developers from Ethereum. And Polkadot is ultimately kind of in a league of its own. And if we look at Ethereum shares, the most developers with Polygon, BNB, Arbitrum, and Optimism, it makes a lot of sense in regards to why, you know, some of these chains saw more newcomers than the likes of Polygon. So very, very interesting. Unsurprisingly, EVM-compatible chains share devs with EVM chains. So, of course, Polkadot is not a part of that, but its ecosystem is within EVM. So you have things like Star, Moonriver, Moonbeam, and a number of others that all facilitate and use EVM. So there is a kind of interconnectivity there in regards to Polkadot's ecosystem, perhaps not with Polkadot itself. So this is all very, very impressive data. Certainly given the fact that we know developers are ultimately what build value on the chain. Again, just like with the internet, it was the people that facilitated those use cases on the internet to bring the billions of users that were the real champions, if you will, the real value creators. And the exact same thing applies to the Web3 as it does to the Web2. So really interesting and good metrics for us to sort of weigh up in regards to Polkadot and what it's doing. Parity released a rather interesting thread at the end of the year on Polkadot, which I want to take a look at. And you can see the first thing is the Polkadot Q4 2023 update is here. Polkadot saw substantial organic growth last quarter with a big spike in transactional data in late December, while fees remain stable as the network demonstrates its ability to support enhanced activity. The extra activity caught the attention of Polkadot founder Robert Habermeyer, who observed the heightened user activity was caused by the popularity of inscriptions. So 1 million transactions today on the Polkadot Relay chain, I'm going to repeat that. 1 million transactions in one day on Polkadot's relay chain. It's huge, and it handled it like an absolute champ. It then goes on to talk about Polkadot's treasury collected 110,000 DOT from the 30 million transactions in 48 hours. And this is how things are funded in the treasury, obviously via the fees. There was no spike in transaction fees typically seen on other networks, with fees staying around 0.02 DOT throughout December. Now, if this had took place on Ethereum or Bitcoin or any of the other networks, even Polygon, the fees would have substantially moved. And this is a credit to Polkadot's design. They then go on to say Polkadot's native cross-chain consensus managing format, XCM, also got busy. Around 17,000 messages were sent per month from January to September. This doubled in October, hitting a 39,000 high in November, and then sprinted to 449,000 in December. So huge growth. Similarly, this chart indicates sustained growth in monthly on-chain events across the relay chain and parachains, and then a bigger December spike. Events included meaningful outputs from extrinsic calls such as transfers, swaps, and staking. So we're seeing a huge uptick in regards to Polkadot, certainly towards the end of last year, which I expect to continue well into this year. So native USDC entered the Polkadot ecosystem at the back end of Q3, and its arrival was fully felt in Q4. More than $10 million circulating on Polkadot's asset hub by the year end. Hydra, which is a DEX, one of the prominent DEXs on Polkadot, led parachain support to the tune of an additional $2.1 million in USDC. Almost 100 million DOT was unlocked on September 2024 following the release of the token supporting the first parachains, which I took part in. There was no crash, actually, that the price did the opposite here. This, surprisingly, led to the number of stake tokens rising from 673 million DOT to 709 million DOT by November the 30th, an uplift of more than 5% of the total staked amount. And the one thing that I want to sort of love and leave you on and read finally from this report was some of Gavin Wood's comments and sort of review of 2023. So Gavin Wood's 2023 review. Polkadot founder Gavin Wood published his personal 2023 roundup at the end of December. He observed the Polkadot ecosystem continues to grow across Polkadot and Kusama. We have 90 parachains from over 580 ecosystem projects, 300 of which are decentralized applications, and 190 are substrate-based blockchains. Extremely impressive. He also noted the release of technical upgrades such as the asynchronous backing, which has rolled out on Kusama, with Polkadot to follow immediately. So we're going to see that this year. This is a development that more than double parachain block production and provides a performance boost, parachains of up to 800%. Meanwhile, Agile Core Time is going live on testnet. So this is talking about Polkadot 2.0 now, and is expected on Kusama and Polkadot before the end of Q1 2024. As Wood explained, Agile Core Time fundamentally alters the means by which Polkadot's key resources, time on the parachain cores, is acquired, rather than a long-term lease with difficult to predict deposits arrived at by auctions. Instead, Core Time, as the resource is called, is sold off at more predictable prices in a monthly sale just ahead of usage. As we can see, a hell of a lot of impressive things are happening with Polkadot, and the data just simply does not lie. It's absolutely my opinion that Polkadot has probably the richest ecosystem, as far as ecosystems go, in the entire crypto space. And we actually had the launch of Manta Network, or the actual token release of Manta Network, the other day. And considering Manta Network is just one of now the 52 parachains on Polkadot, it is in the 9th position in terms of change with total value locked. And this is just one chain on the entire Polkadot ecosystem. Guys, if you've enjoyed this content, a like is always greatly appreciated. So is a comment. We are going to be bringing you so much Polkadot content over the coming months and diving into the ecosystem in a lot more detail and showing you guys how to use it. So don't forget to become a subscriber, smash that like button, a comment is always appreciated, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you're notified whenever updates just like this one are released. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Have a wonderful day wherever you are and whatever you're doing, and I'll see you all in the next one.